Alrighty. Hello everyone and welcome to round 12 of the Race Spec Global Series actually I've labelled this tier round 12. It's technically round 3 of the new Global Series tier 1. We're here at Monza. It looks nice and bright and sunny here at the Temple of Speed. Quickest average lap on the calendar, so lots of foot to the floors around here. I'm Bod Hod, I'll be your commentator this evening. We've got a full lobby which is fantastic to see, so looking forward to what should be a good lap, good race here. We'll see what kind of lap guys these guys can put in for us. We might ride on board with Batuka, our championship leader, on his first lap, just so we can find a way around the circuit. Yeah, we'll just stay on with him on board I think for the whole race, the whole lap, sorry, just so we can see how he takes the corners and get a bit of a feel for the Monza circuit. Plenty of people in the grandstands. I'm sure the Tifosi will be out in full force as always at Monza, so should be an interesting race, to say the least. Most guys coming out onto softs. We've got a couple of guys coming out on mediums, but we should see most of these guys qualify on the soft tyres for the race, as it is a fairly comfortable soft to medium strategy. But we'll stay on board with Batuka anyway. These guys just warming up on their out lap. It looks simple according to the track map, there's Monza, but plenty of really difficult spots on the track. Plenty of hazardous curbs, a couple of places where you really want to push it, but the track bites when you get it wrong. So we'll take off all the data and we'll stay on board with Batuka for this first hot lap, and you can take us on a lap around Monza. So across the line, already in 8th gear, open the DRS. Probably the most likely overtaking spot into turn 1, really heavy braking. Brake just before the 100-metre board. Try and get your car turned in turn 1, trying to open it up a little bit for turn 2, on the power as soon as you can. Slowest part of the track through there. So you want to try and get the best exit you possibly can out of there. As you go around turn 3, the long right hander there, don't take too much inside curb, heavy braking into 4 and 5, difficult little chicane, quite easy to cut, but you want to keep the car nice on the curb. See Batuka trying to push it on the exit there, but keeps it well on track. Then you've got the 2 Lesnos, 2 right handers, the most kind of downforcey bits on the track I guess, probably where you're going to make up a lot of time on your rivals. Down the back straight, DRS zone again, up to the somewhat dreaded Ascari, under the bridge which is the old Monza banking. If only we can go back on there into Ascari, down to 5th or 4th gear, or you have to lift off slightly through that second bit. You don't want to touch that inside curb on the exit too much, because that can send your car spinning off a fair bit. And now down towards the final corner, Parabolica, one of the most iconic spots on the track. Very high speed corner, get the car turned in and get the power as quickly as you possibly can. Got a couple of yellows there, so someone may have spun it. And you'll come across the line to set the first lap. It is a 1:19.9 on the mediums, which is actually a fairly respectable time. Viper goes quickest, just behind on a 1:19.1. So these two, probably the two guys you have to watch for race wins. Although there are probably 6, 7, 8, 9 people who can get on the podium on pace. So it's a close tier, but getting some good times in early. 19.1 is not shabby at all from Viper in the Ferrari. What is Ferrari's home track? So good to see a couple of good times in early. Should make things quite interesting for the race. We'll see if we can ride on board with someone else who may be on a lap. Shimitage just started one. Looks like the other Ferrari may be coming across. He's not pushing his ERS. Looks like there's a Red Bull. I think it might be Trikey here. He's going to finish his lap. It's going to be P4 1:20.2. So not a bad lap there for Trikey. Currently in P4, but plenty of guys yet to set laps. We've got Banana Cake Pie and the Renault maybe next across the line to set a lap. He's going to come around Parabolica, try and get on the power as quickly as you can. You can see him running low fuel on the little MFD thing there. Banana will go P3 with a 19.9, just ahead of Batuka on the soft tyres there. So well done there for Banana. Looks like there might be another Racing Point MBT coming through Parabolica now. So both Racing Points electing to start the quality session of medium tyres, perhaps just trying to save a spare set of those fresh softs for the race, which can come into good use if you get a late safety car or something like that. So it does well there. Go back to Shimitada. Actually his lap's invalidated. There are a couple of places where it is easy to invalidate. Looks like Jupe just behind. He's going to finish the lap as well. Jumps up into P8. The two Mercedes boys got Ned, Hubs my dog, aka Abella, up into P2, and his teammate for tonight's Meg, I believe, reserving in that Mercedes into what was P3 but is now P4 as Lunacy splits them, as you see Jupe getting a little bit slippery on the accelerator coming out of the first corner. Is Kinkiski on a lap? He's just starting one. We'll see if we can find someone who may be finishing a lap. Curving Texas, I can see, is on an out lap. He's about to start as well. So maybe we'll stay on board here with Kinkiski in the bright orange McLaren. Let's see what he can put together. We've got a bit of a glitch there. Viper's fastest time is still popping up on the bottom left, so let's hope that kind of fixes itself up as the session goes on. So Kinkiski shifting right down to second there, so not getting the best speed through there, but nice and tidy. You'd rather probably not throw it away in your first run. Try and get the banker down, and then you can start really pushing on it. Takes the two Lesmos quite nicely, actually. Sorry, just checking the sound on the stream. I think we're all good. Yeah. Alright, Suascari is Kinkiski. He's going to come down to Parabolica now. He'll be braking. Bright orange McLaren. Nowhere else near him on track, which is good. Although we might see a couple of teammates, if they're working together, give each other a tow, because it can be quite valuable. A few tenths at least, potentially. Kinkiski will go up to P4 actually, 19.6. That's a good lap there. Up into the top four, so well done there for Kinkiski. I'll go back to Curving Texas coming through Ascari now, pushing as hard as he can to get the best time. Lap looks okay for now. Now let's see where he can put himself on leaderboard. Takes a pretty nice line through Parabolica. Then you want to get the car to the right, the shortest line to the line possible. He's going to go P1 with the 19 flat, so well done there for Curving Texas. Provisionally in P1 for now, but plenty of guys still to set laps, and most guys still have a couple of runs to go. Looks like there's a slow McLaren. It might just be someone getting out of the way. Yeah, there's a Haas coming through. Gold Gloves, he may be on a lap. We'll jump on board. No, he's in an out lap, so a bit of an in-between phase here. No one really on a lap. Matado is not pushing him coming to the pits. Tuka is on a lap, so we'll run on board with Tuka here, and that's going to be an invalidation. Yeah, cutting a bit too much of that corner, so not ideal there for the racing point. There's Banana on a lap. He's in low ERS, so he might just be saving up for one. Kinkiski is invalidated. Hortman Dan may be on a lap. Will's like to jump to P2, so P3, sorry, missed that one. Spot on there for the Williams man. So Hortman Dan is on the lap here, so we'll stay with the Alfa Romeo as he's coming through the second sector split now. And 52.9, it is purple on the track map, but we do know that it is very friendly on purple. Purple sector's game seems to like throwing them at people. So we can't really take that as solid evidence for the lap, but we'll stay with them anyway. Let's hope it is a good lap here. Fairly nice through there, not running too wide. It really sucks if you invalidate your lap there, because it's a very sloppy warning if you do manage to. Horneman down will go P9, so good lap there. Who haven't we seen yet? Looks like MJ just starting a lap. We'll go back to him because he's right at the start of the lap. Kurt Boyd in the Lesmos. Christoph Reck is, I think he may have just finished the lap. Is Viper on a lap? He's in the pits. So there may not be many people on a lap. If Gold Gloves, no Gold Gloves, so we'll stay with MJ then in the AlphaTauri. I'll say it every week, best looking livery on the grid. I say that every week because it is. But let's see how he goes through the Lesmos. Doesn't use all of that exit curve there, so potentially a bit more time to be found there for MJ. But tidy lap. 120 flat so far, so any improvement would be great, although he's a tenth and a half down, so he's going to have to really send on his final run. Takes a scurry quite nicely, hooks himself on that right hand curve a little bit, but car doesn't disappear on him, which is good. Past the Red Bull of Tri-Kid, who's currently just ahead. Tri-Kid's about to start a lap by the looks of things, so may pick up a nice little tow here from MJ. which might help his lap, although he's a bit too far back I think. MJ will come up to the line. He's lost more time in sector 3 there, so not ideal there for MJ. He's going to have another run though, to try and make amends for that. So have to see what he can do. Who haven't we seen yet? We'll jump aboard with Lunacy. No, he's invalidated. Ned is on a lap, so we'll ride with the Mercedes man. Ned hugged my dog. Don't have a dog, so he definitely didn't hug my dog, but maybe he's hugged someone else's dog. Through the first couple of corners, 4 and 5, takes that quite nicely. We should see this really threaten the top times. Ned has plenty of pace, which is great. Runs fairly wide there, but keeps it on the track. You don't want to dip your wheel in the gravel. That will lose you a lot of time. We see a fair few guys actually beating it into the wall on the exit there, so if you can avoid that, that would be great. Currently nearly 2 tenths up on his best time, so if Ned can hold this together, or as I say that, he's gone very slippery and that is off the track. He's done well to save that actually, but he'll be disappointed with that. 2 tenths would have put him right up with the top 2 there, plus potentially a bit more time in Parabolica. So he's going to have another run. I'm not sure if he'll do another lap now or dust the tyres off, or pit for some more ones. He's going to pit, yeah, straight in the pit lane. You can't afford to do that once, I think, as weird as it looks. Looks like Tri-Kid we saw start a lap before. Yep, he's going to finish into P7, so 5 tenth improvement almost, so good improvement there from Tri-Kid up into the top 7. We'll see what he can do. So Lunacy's on a lap, so he invalidated his first lap. This will be his second lap on this run. So tyres won't be optimal. He's taken that quite nicely in the Haas there, so well done to Lunacy. If he can hold it together, then it could be nice. It could be a nice time here from Lunacy. Didn't quite catch the split time, so we'll have to see what it is. Wrapping the number 27 in the Haas. He's going to take a very, very tight line, and he's going to bail out of his lap into the pit, so probably not going to be an improvement, which is why he chose to come in there. Dupe is invalidated. Banana is on a lap. It's a bit squirrely there, actually. He's got something eventful happening in the middle sector there. I'm not too sure what's happening here. We've got a bit of a kerfuffle with the 2 Ferraris and the 2 McLarens. I just saw them on the mini-map all very close together. Christopher put himself up to P3 actually, so that was a good time, but I'm not too sure what's happened here. Very weird. Anyway, we'll move back to... who should we look to? I wonder if Ashina Matata is... Yep, Ashina Matata's on a lap, so we'll stay with him. I think his teammate ahead maybe on a lap as well, but we'll stay with Ashina Matata. Currently P14. We expect to see him a couple of places up, but we'll have to see what he can do if he can look towards the end of this lap. Takes Parabolica a little bit wide and a little bit narrow in the entry actually. Exit, sorry, he's going to come in the pits, so won't complete the lap, which isn't great. Banana Cake Pie in the chat a while ago. Typical response for the streams. World domination. Hope the plan is going well. Currently he's sitting in P11. I'm sure he'll want to improve on that, although in all honesty P11 may not be the worst place to start. Free choice of tyres, maybe doing that alternate strat. To see what Bernard chooses to do. I'm sure he'll at least leave the pits for another run. He'd rather be starting probably in the 10 than dropping down to P15, 16 if people improve. So let's see what Bernard chooses to do. Giamo may just about be the only person on the lap. What's Kinkiski up to? He's invalidated. Yep, so we'll stick with Giamo. Only person on a lap at the moment in the other AlphaTauri. Currently sitting with 20.9. I'm sure he can do a bit better than that. Everyone has set a decent time except for Candy Cane, who hasn't set a time at all. And then MBT hasn't set a soft time. Actually neither has Patuka, so he's sitting in P13. We expect him a bit further up, so Patuka is now under a bit of pressure to get that soft lap in, because we'd expect to see him at the top of the field, or at least in the top 3. So Patuka's going to have to put in a good lap. We'll put the fitted, yeah, so he's put some softs on now. So we'll see what he can do. Jamo's half a second up already. Cuts that slightly but gets away with it, which is nice. Hangs on to the car through Ascari, almost runs a bit wide on the exit there. That would have been another sloppy warning. Yes, it's quite annoying when you nail your corner and then just run wide because you feel like it and invalidate it there. But Jamo held onto that and through Parabolica, not too wide. Possibly could have carried a tiny bit more speed, but He up to the line, jumps to P16 with a 1 second improvement almost. Almost an identical time to his teammate actually, and they're right on the tail of Shinumatata too. So really close times. Actually up and down the field, you can see the gap between. Actually, speaking of, Jamo is doing something a bit illegal, shortcutting the track. So we'll have to note that down as well, because you're not allowed to do that. I wonder if he's streaming. He's going to back off now. Who we got on a lap? I was going to say a lot of guys are really close together here. Actually, you can see the gap between Smeg in P9 down to Jamo in P16. That gap's only a tenth and a half. So there's 7 guys within a tenth and a half of each other, which is quite ridiculous actually. That's really close. Ned is out on track on medium, so not sure what he's doing. Maybe just trying to kill a bit of time. Lunacy's just come out as well. Actually, he's not in a lap, I don't think, because he's not no hot in the laps, PRS. No, so he might have just had a bad run out of a couple of corners and bailed in the lap. He's going to give himself one more chance. Banana is on a lap, so we'll stick with him again. We'll ride on board, see what kind of line he can take, see if he can carry a bit of speed through Ascari. He's got a couple of yellows ahead, a little bit of traffic, so let's hope they get out of the way. Takes that quite nice. You want to cut as much as you can, a little bit wide, and he's going to nearly lose back end and run right next to Ferrari there. Didn't catch a split time. Looks like there's a bit of a kerfuffle in the second sector as well. You might have to have a quick look at that. But we'll stay with Banana as he's on a lap. Still got that glitch at the bottom where Viper's got the fastest lap. We'll see what Banana can do up to the line. Is it going to be an improvement? It is. It's going to be just under a tenth. That will put him into the top 10. So I think Banana would, at this point, hope he starts P11, but he's got time for one more lap, although he's missed turn 1 slightly, so not ideal, and yeah, he's going to bail out. He's going to let Chris past. I wonder if anyone there is finishing a lap. It's a bit hard to tell with so many cars in close proximity, because that Lunacy just started as well. Viper is coming around the final corner. He's going to pick up a nice little toe from MBT in front. So can Viper nick pole? 18.7, 3 tenths clear of Curbing Texas. A great lap there for Viper. As Will's retired from the session, has he binned it somewhere, or has he done that on track? I'm not too sure. Oh no, he's done it at the pit lane, so that's okay. So Viper's done for the session, as is Gold Gloves. Gold Gloves in P17, not ideal there. And Viper's just getting out of the way of a couple of people. So pole time there currently. Batuka crosses the line with an 18.9, so can't quite match Viper there. We're right on board with Curbing Texas, because he's probably going to be the man who can nick pole off Viper. He's got a bit of traffic in front of him. He's going to pick up maybe a little bit of a toe actually. This could help him coming down into Parabolic. 9k Pi, so the Renault teammates working in perfect harmony there. Curbing gets the car slowed down enough, carries plenty of speed. He's taking that quite nicely actually. Can he threaten Viper at the top? No, he's going to bail out as he's actually smacked the pit wall. He's in the middle of the track, which is interesting. I wonder if he's going to ghost or not. I'm not too sure what happened there, but Kevin Texas is out of the session. That's a bit of weirdness there. Shimatara is invalidated. Kinkiski is on the lap, so we'll stay with the McLaren man across the finish line, coming around Parabolic, and now final corner. Curbing Texas' car is still in the middle of the track there, and Kinkiski kind of has to take avoiding action in the end there. Ned behind. No, that was the other Mercedes of Smeg. He stays P13, so he was looking good for a little while, but he's dropped down the field a little bit. MJ's not going to improve. Ned is not going to improve. Shumatar is invalidated. Tuka has already finished the lap, and Viper is done. So that will be it for quali. Bit of weirdness at the end there, but we've gotten through it fairly nicely. Viper takes pole ahead of Patuka, ahead of Curbing Texas. Christopher with a good result there in P4. Shumatada make up the top 5. Will in P6. Ned in P7. I believe his best lap is on softs. Yep, Lunacy, Kinkiski and Trikid make up the top 10. Horderman down and Banake Pi, they won't be too unhappy with 11 and 12. They can do that alternate strat, as with Snake behind. We got Jupe, MJ, Jamo, Kurtboy, Gold Gloves, MBT and Candy Cane didn't set a time in the end, so Candy Cane will be starting from last. Yes, that was very interesting curving. I'm not too sure what happened there. Not 100% sure why he didn't finish the lap. Maybe just down on the delta. But oh well to that. Anyway, that will be qualifying. We'll just wait for the last guys to retire from the session and the time to run out. And it looks like it's just done so. Good qualifying session there, plenty of close time, so it should make for a good race. So let's see how these guys go. We've already run through the grid there, so a 2/10 gap to pole, and then 2, 3 and 4 are fairly close together, then another 3/10 gap back to Ashida Matata. And from there down, everyone is really, really close together actually. So good to see. Should make for quite an interesting race. We'll just wait for these guys to load in. Anyone in the chat, get your predictions in for a top 3. I'll give you a Freddo if you're correct, as I promise to do most weeks. So let us know who you reckon can take out the win and who can take the other podium spots. I'll be sure to reward you if you're correct. So get that in if you'd like. As we'll just get, I don't know if the standings are up yet. I was just going to quickly try and find them. I think these are it. Yes, these are it. So currently Prying Stingray leads us away. He's not actually here, so Smeg's taken his seat. Vipers in P2 just 2 points behind. Curving Texas another 9 points back from that. Patuca P4, Abella, Lunacy Prime, Banana, BMAC and Tri-Kid round out the top 10. So of course this being effectively round 3, lots of low scores yet, so good results can lead to good things for plenty of guys. It's effectively only going to be a, how many races is it? It's only going to be a 10 race championship pretty much, so yeah, lots more on the line, but plenty of people nice and close together, obviously due to only having 2 rounds so far. Actually, that reminds me, I need to change this to round 3 on the stream rather than round 12. I'll do that right now. That should be done now, so hopefully there's no confusion. This is essentially round 3 of this new championship, so there we go, we're good to go now. But yeah, championship nice and close. Currently in the constructors, Mercedes do lead the way with Prying and Abella both in the top 5. And then Renault sits 19 points behind, and then just 1 point ahead of Ferrari. P2 and P3 Racing Point a little bit behind, and then Haas, Williams, McLaren, Red Bull, Alfa Romeo and Alfa Tauri a little bit way back. So if some of them can get a good result, then I mean plenty of movement can happen. We'll get the data up because I want to check out what tyres these guys are on. I'll get those up as well. So wow, only 3 people have left to go mediums, so obviously they don't want to leave the train of DRS, not backing themselves in to maintain the pace on the medium tyres. So Hotman, Dan, Banake, Pie and Smeg will all go on softs. Duke will be on mediums, MJ soft, Jamo mediums. So the Alpha Tauris split in their strat. Kurt Ball on softs, Gold Clubs on mediums, and the back 2 on softs as well. So only a couple of guys doing the alternate. We'll have to watch their progress and see where they can get themselves. We'll have to wait and see how that all plays out, but will be interesting. I would have expected a couple more people to attempt the alternate strat, but these guys obviously are going to do what they think will be most comfortable for them. And Hotman, Dan, Banana Cake, Pie, the Smeg, they'll be in a good position on those fresh softs to possibly make a few positions off at the start on the likes of Tri-Kick and Kiski and Lunacy and Co, all on their qualifying soft tyres, which have a few laps of wear on them. So maybe they just want a good launch up the train. So have to see what they can do off the start. Looks like we're just about ready to go though. These guys all lined up in the grid. There's Williams dawdling at the back of Candy Cane, so let's see if he can get a few positions off the start as well. Obviously won't be too happy with P20, but looks like we're just about all on the grid now. We've got green flags waving, which is good. We get a good camera angle there, so we've got 3, 4, 5 red lights and we are underway, and it looks like a decent start. There's a slow Red Bull in the middle there, but I think Viper just has the jump on Patuka. Yeah, Curving Texas has a reasonable start, but Christofrek's the better one. Can Christofrek threaten the top two into turn one? He's going to try and go around the outside of Patuka, and he's just about made it stick actually. Christofrek into P2, but Patuka is not fighting back. We've got yellows, we've got Carnage at the back. We've got a lot of people all over the place. Banana's lost a lot of positions, and we're almost three wide. Oh, and there's a Williams in the wall. That looks like Candy Cane. Yep, he's spun around, so he's gotten himself into trouble on lap one, and there's a couple of the guys, I think, with damage as well. Looks like Holtman, Dan, MJ, Kinkiski all going side by side in here. There's lots and lots of contact. Oh, and there's a big accident at the front. Curving Texas and Christofrek have come together from the podium positions. They've had a big moment there. So that's happened up at the front as well. And there's more incidents here. We've got a safety car, and everyone is running into everyone. And now they're all going to try and sort themselves up under yellows. But geez, that was a crazy start. So up the front, looks like into turn 4 and 5, Curving Texas and Christofrek had it coming together. And back here, they're probably having a bit of a glitch here from the yellow flags. What that's done is that's actually allowed Ned into P3. So he's made a good start. Has Ned. Patuka and Viper staying in 1 and 2. We saw Christofrek trying to go around the outside. Kurt Boy gets a bit of a garbage, 5 seconds for ignoring yellow, so that should get removed. But that was a start and a half. Up the back, I think I saw Curving Texas has damage. Yes, he does. Who else might have damage? Candy Cane will definitely have damage up to hitting the wall there. Shumatard is fine. Gold Gloves, I think he's fine. We got Will in the pits already, so making an early move, that's going to put a couple more people up. Actually, a few people are pitting. Christofrek's probably going to get a wing change. That's a lot more people pitting than I thought they would. So Christofrek's getting a wing change. Kurt Boy's in. Texas is in. I want to see how many people are getting wing changes. The Alphas are stacking, which is not ideal. That's the last thing you'd want. Looks like a lot of people actually getting wing changes here, so far from ideal for a lot of these guys. We've got most guys putting on mediums, but some people going on hards. So hards will make it to the end probably. So Snake's put on hards, and I think our leaderboard just marking around. Smick is not in P2, and a lot of other people actually putting on mediums. I'm a bit surprised that more people haven't gone for the hards, but I guess with mediums you're going to have to do another stop. Maybe you just don't want to put those hards on. They will be quite bad on performance, but the mediums won't make it to the end, so that's important there. So the leaderboard's still all over the place. Curving Texas is not leading, I believe Viper is leading. Yes, Viper ahead of Patuka, ahead of Ned. Lunacy's made a good start on P4 as well, gaining a few positions. Kinkiski and J Jamo, having stayed out, have jumped all those guys who have pit. Will lead this pit runners. Try kidding Christofrek, who actually put on more softs. So a lot of different strategies here, but that was a start and a half. People being probably a bit over enthusiastic on the overtakes in the first couple of corners, and that caused a fair bit of chaos. Yeah, pretty much the whole first half of that lap there, I was just seeing absolute carnage, and I didn't even see all of it. I didn't quite catch what happened to Curving Texas and Christofrek, because that midfield was just being absolutely wild. But yes, Blue Dog is correct, an absolute crazy start. Yes, it's more enjoyable to watch it than to be part of something like that. But still, it's not ideal in terms of a race, although it does kind of give these guys a second chance at a rolling start to yeah, see how they go, because obviously the first start didn't quite go as planned. But the top two remaining, so they won't mind so much. I am curious to see what happens with Christofrek and Curving Texas. My guess is they were just trying to go side by side, because we saw Christofrek trying to make a move in Patuka. So I wonder if Patuka's maybe pulled another move on Christofrek and Curving Texas has been caught up in that. But we just saw them both around. It's really, really difficult to go through 4 and 5. Right on board with someone going through it. See 9K Pi. You can see how narrow it is, and there's only really one line through there, so it's almost impossible to go side by side through there. So obviously those guys tried to. And I guess Christofrek and Curving Texas have paid for it in terms of a lot of track position lost, plus still having to make another pit stop. So yeah, maybe just trying to send it a bit too hard. But everyone is back at the train, so the safety car should come in this lap. We'll stay with the leader. Actually, might even ride on board with Patuka. Safety car is in this lap. Yep, so we'll have our restart on the end of lap 3. So we'll have 24 laps of racing. I'm assuming we don't get another safety car, which, I mean, judging by that start, there's definitely a chance that we will. But these guys will have another chance, which is good. We'll have to see whether they can make the most of it and not crash into each other like they did the first time. We might actually run on board with Patuka to see when Viper chooses to go. Accelerating fairly early there actually, so let's hope he doesn't catch the field out too much, or we might get a bit of a disaster at restart. See Viper really backing them up now into Parabolica, and he's gone, so you can see he tries to try and slow him down as much as possible. We've already got a couple of moves. Banana and MBT are having a bit of a calamity. They've swapped positions for some reason before the safety car line, which is not legal, and they're now going to go 3 wide. MBT probably tried to address that. Gold Gloves is going to try and make a move, and Shumatata may look around the both of them. You're going to ride on board here. We'll go off board again actually, because this could be quite chaotic. Shumatata gets 2 moves, MBT loses a couple, Gold Gloves gets through. Will and the Smeg are going side by side. No, sorry, Smeg and MBT, my mistake, and behind them is that Christofrek. Oh, is that a Ferrari? Hurry up and switch over. Christofrek has gone round again, so more calamity there for Christofrek, who wasn't in a good position at the start. We just saw him losing the car there, so what's happening to Dupe as well? Is he being caught up in something? I'm not too sure there. Christofrek down to last place though. Kurt Boy dropping a fair bit. Takes us down the back as well. Is that Will and Trikid going side by side through there. Trikid gets a move done. Up hills at Banana and Jamo going side by side. Banana gets through on the straight before Ascari. Looks like the top few guys, always Jamo's gone a bit deep into that. That's going to allow Shumatata through probably. We get a nice run through there. The top 5-6 guys staying as they were. I see Banana and Shumatata now gaining a couple of positions on Jamo, who started on those medium tyres and are still on him. As we've got almost 3 wide back here, this could be a disaster. Hold it together, guys. Trikid trying to go around the outside of the Gold Gloves, which is difficult to do, but if you can get the power down, which looks like he has, he's going to make it stick. So Trikid with a good move there. MBT may try and throw the nose in, but Gold Gloves looks like he may be using a bit more ERS. They're going to go 3 wide again. They don't learn, do they? Look to see if they can hold it together this time. This could be absolute disaster. Except behind, they're trying to go as well. Gold Gloves backs out probably smartly on those medium tyres. This isn't quite his race. We've got a car park behind. There's a couple of guys running into the back of each other. Smeg on the hard tyres trying to move as well on Gold Gloves. But he's, no sorry, it's Will, my mistake. But Will's going to have the run around the outside. So Smeg might be running a bit less, a bit more downforce, sorry, not quite having the straight line speed. He's going to try and go around the outside again. Really difficult place to go. He's going to have to cut the corner to avoid an incident, and that might allow curving through. Actually, these guys are 3 wide again into the Lesmos. This could be a disaster. Smeg has to back out as Holdman Dan and Curving Texas going side by side. Once again, we've got more yellows. I think that's Candy Cane going round at the back. We'll have to save these guys. A bit of contact, and Holdman Dan's lost out there, and he's going to lose position to Smeg as well. So just going side by side through a place which is really difficult to. And Kurt Boy's not done well there. It was Candy Cane. He went round. He's got more damage. We might jump on board with Banana Cake Pie though, because he's right at the back of MJ. Down into Parabolica, out of the toe, but you can see MJ probably using a bit of battery there. Banana's going to send it, sort of, or a little bit of contact. Banana's going to have to save that. He's done well to save that. But he wasn't quite alongside. MJ didn't have to leave in space at that point. But Banana did sort of back out of it in the end. But MJ's lost touch to the top 5, so when DRS comes around, he will not have it. Banana Cake Pie is going to make the move with ERS on. As up ahead, Kinkiski and Lunacy are going to go side by side as well. Banana gets the move done. Shumatata trying to follow through as well. But Kinkiski now up into P4 ahead of Lunacy. Top 3 still staying as they are. Not quite close enough to really threaten each other. Looks like MJ and Shumatata trying to sort themselves out again. And Shumatata not quite being able to get through, but looks like he's got some good pace. MJ in the AlphaTauri looks like he's struggling a tiny bit pace at this phase of the race, but still a long way to go. As Candy Cane's retired, that will be in the pit lane, yeah. So not too happy there. We're going to go side by side for the Lesmos, and MJ shut the door and Shumatari's gone round. Shumatari's going to come back onto the track. Hopefully not collecting when he's ghosting, which is a good thing. That was an interesting rejoin slightly, but he's going to lose out a lot of positions. MJ might be in a bit of trouble for that because Shumatara was fairly well alongside. Hotman Dan's going to lose position back to Shumatara anyway, but not great to see incidents up the field there. So MJ may have to answer to the stewards on that one, but we'll leave that to them for the end of the race. King Kiski's lost a fair bit of time. So Gold Gloves and MBT going side by side. Gold Gloves getting a move done, but can MBT fight back? MBT on the soft tyres, they'll still have a bit of life in them. as Patuka sets the quickest lap. He's going to be on the back of Viper actually. We might have to look to that for the lead of the race. He's going to be around the outside. Viper defends the inside, but the move is done before the braking zone. So Patuka into the lead of the Italian Grand Prix here. A couple of guys setting some quickest laps with the DRS now open. So Patuka makes a move. Looks like his teammate got gold gloves as well again. So 2 racing points on the move. Ned kind of sitting behind but not really close enough to do anything about it. Viper and Patuka are going to... Viper has to back out of that, yeah. There's no point throwing that away. They may as well save it for DRS. Viper's got a lot of DRS left. Patuka's burnt 70% of it. He's only got 30 left, whereas Viper has pretty much a full tank there. So Viper's lining himself up nicely to get the move done. So if Viper can get ahead, he may be able to bolt. That's quite important for the race result potentially. Curving and Will going side by side as well, so Curving gets the move done. But we'll stay with these guys because you might see Viper throw the nose in. No, he's probably too far back. Might try and push Patuka into a mistake up here. Takes Ascari quite nicely. Trike and MJ as well, having a side to side. But we'll stay with the Ferrari man as he's right on the back of Patuka for the race lead. Can he get the move done into Parabolic? He's not going to have the slipstream enough for it, but he's probably going to try and line up and move into the first corner. You see the gap between the top 3 and then P4 is 1.3 seconds, so they're out of DRS. Patuka gets a really nice run out of Parabolica actually. Viper's not going to be able to make a move, and Ned just behind is also not going to quite be close enough either. So they're going to stay as they are for now. Looks like they're doing okay. Down the back here, these guys get nice and close together though. MBT Gold Gloves and Gemma from P9. They're going to go 3 wide in turn 1. And there's going to be contact in the braking zone that could get the car nice and unsettled, but they've managed to keep it together. So now Jammer losing out in that little battle there, which isn't ideal. But he's going to just hang on. He's not going to lose any more positions, I don't think. Although actually, Kirby Texas is right close there. It's like a shooting Batada. We've got yellows. I'm not sure who that's for. Kevin Texas gets the move done on Jammo, which is good. Goes a bit deep, has to settle the car again. I'm not too sure who those yellows were for. It might have been Christoph, correct? I'm not 100% sure. We'll just leave that one for now. But in terms of battles, there are a few still. Viper and Patuka are still nice and close together for the lead of the race. So plenty happening in the early phases of the race here. These guys obviously want to be on the attack as much as they possibly can. Looks like Viper again. He's still saving a lot of battery. He probably needs to burn it because the more he saves, the more Patuka can also save. So Viper with plenty of pace. Patuka's hugging the inside. Is he going to hit? No, he's going to possibly think about it. But Viper now with DRS, surely he's going to attempt to move now. He's using that battery, yeah. Patuka can't really defend it, and Viper's going to go to the outside. If he can hold it around here, it could be the inside for the next corner. Patuka later on the brakes squeezes Viper out a bit wide. We've got more yellows in the third sector there. That might be the yellow Ferrari. But Ned almost had a look there as well, but didn't quite manage to get a nose in. And actually this battling's allowed King Kiski to get within a second as well. So the top 5 now, we've got DRS, Penike, Pi and P6. He's actually done fairly well to close that gap, which was a fair bit, getting past those AlphaTauris, and then Trikid as well just behind. So if Banana Cake Pi can get within this DRS train, then we could have a 6-way battle for the lead. Looks like Curvy and Gold Gloves and MBT still going side by side to there. Curvy's going to get pushed out a bit actually. That might let Jammo through, although Jammo's let Will through. Both of them losing the DRS, losing the traction, sorry, not DRS, my bad. Will goes a bit wide, so maybe it's still sitting there in P14, but on those hard tyres, so he's playing long as Jammo looks like he's struggling for a bit of pace here. Curving Texas and Will do have slightly fresher tyres, as does Trikid and the Softs a bit further ahead, so they may have a bit of an advantage now, but they can't quite make the most of their half-decent tyres. We've got a bit, oh, MBT's in the fence, he's DNF at the Ascari. You see on the right hand side there, so he's made a mistake there. That's a big mistake. He was running in the points, and that's going to cost him a lot of championship points there. Lunacy's going to come in the pits. We have a virtual safety car. Lunacy first to jump. He's timed this absolutely perfectly. MJ and Trikid also come in. Now is a perfect time to pit for more medium tyres. So Lunacy could be on for a massive undercut here, gaining a lot of time on the VSC as long as he comes out in a little bit clear air perhaps. This could be massive for the race. Trikey's going to put on hards, which may be a mistake. Banana Cake Pie mediums as well. No, sorry, not Banana Cake Pie, it was MJ. Ashumatari gets 5 seconds for a collision. Lunacy's actually going to come out in some really nice clear air here. So Lunacy with a big W here. He could get an undercut on all the guys ahead of him, as long as he slows down for his delta. as we got DRS enabled as the VSC has gone away, but Lunacy could be on for a potential P1 after all this goes out. Curving Texas and Gold Glove still having a fight. We saw Curving Texas getting pushed out a little bit. He's obviously gone back through again now in P6, so he's had a good recovery actually from that start. As Gold Glove's getting a bit squirrely there on the power. Will may look for a move as well. But yeah, plenty kicking off here. I haven't had any chance to catch a breather. It looks like Ned is right back at Kinkiski as well. So lots of things happening in this race. Will we see these top guys pit now? Lap 10, it should be just about time for mediums. As Ned's going to go really deep on the brakes there actually. And that might compromise his run. Are they going to pit the top guys? Yes, they're coming in. Patuka, Viper, King Tiski and Ned all in, as is Banana. So Curving Texas will take the lead of the race. And where is Lunacy? He should be able to undercut all of them, having pit under the virtual safety car when everyone else had to go slow. The top guys, top 5, all going to pit for medium tyres. Yes, they are, so that's the right choice there for them. But yeah, making moves is Lunacy. He's going to come out ahead of all of them. So that is an absolute strategy call and a half to pit as soon as that virtual safety car came out. He may have been thinking of an undercut anyway, but Lunacy is now going to inherit the lead of the race, 2 and a bit seconds ahead of Patuka, as we got Christofric has binned it at Ascari as well. So that might bring out another virtual safety car. Although it looks like it's just local yellows for now. No, it's a full safety car, so that has caused a full safety car. So Lunacy is going to lose that 2.5 second buffer, but he will be P1 on track, in track position. Although he's now going to lose that big buffer, which is a shame. But yeah, Lunacy won't be too happy about that, but he has jumped the entire pack there. Now this is really problematic for the likes of Curving, Gold Gloves, Will, the Smeg and Jammer. I reckon the Smeg may come in for more mediums at this point, but those guys on mediums, they're going to have to put hards on, because the softs will definitely not do 16 laps, unless they just try and stay out on mediums and hope for another safety car or something later on. But that's hurt those guys. We'll have to see what they do. We'll stay on board with Curving Texas maybe. Is he going to come into the pits? It's a really difficult call actually. It's going to be a tough one. He's going to pit. Gold Glove stays out, so Curving Texas is probably going to have to put on hards now, which won't have been what he wanted. Will and Jammer are also pinning, as is Holderman Dan. So the Smeg stays out on his hards. He's going to keep going to the end of the race. I think Gold Glove also stays out in the medium, so obviously he is still planning to go to softs. Actually, Curving's put on more mediums. Yes, that's right. So Curving Texas pit lap 1, so that's those softs gone. So Curving Texas, yeah, that's okay then. So he's put on mediums, as is Holtman, Dan and Will. So those guys all must have already pit once. So that's a bit better, although they're going to lose a fair bit of track position. Curving Texas will be in P11. As Gold Gloves will now lead the race ahead of Smeg, ahead of Lunacy. So Patuka will filter in behind Viper and P5. Those two, Patuka and Viper, with plenty of pace at the first phase of the race. Ned's lost out a fair bit actually. He's lost out to MJ Kinkiski. He's dropped to P8 now. Banana's right behind him. So Ned, with a slow pit stop maybe, or possibly just getting some traffic in the lane. He's lost because he was fighting Patuka and Viper for position. But now he's got a couple of cars in the way. So not ideal there for Ned. Banana and Tri-Kid. Tri-Kid's still on those hard tyres, so I'm a bit surprised he hasn't picked for more mediums, because I reckon it may be just about worth it, because they're going to be really, really slow. Jammer's picked for hard, so he started on those mediums, so he had no choice there. Then Dupe at the back on mediums as well. So almost the entire field, bar 3 cars on the medium tyres, and most of them fairly fresh as well. So this is a real kind of reset, a bit of a pause, a bit of a reconsideration for the race here. A lot of things can still happen. We're not even at halfway point. So yeah, it's a bit of a breather for these guys, but I mean, they're going to absolutely send it when the safety car comes back in, I'm sure. So yeah, plenty to look out for. So Smeg on those hard tyres, he's going to get absolutely swallowed up probably. But if he can somewhat stay with the train, then you never really know, because the DRS is that powerful. I mean, most of the lap kind of, you can have DRS. It's just probably the turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the first sector and half of the second sector. That's going to be the troublesome point. That's where those mediums are going to be so much quicker than the hards, but the rest of the lap you can stay with DRS and within the toe there. So if Smeg can hang on, he still could be on for a good result, but he's going to have a lot worse tyres at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he drops like a stone or whether he can hang on to a couple of positions up here. If he can keep it clean in terms of penalties as well, then he may be able to hold on to it. We haven't seen too many penalties at all, so these guys keeping it well under control for now, but it'll be interesting to see the progress of Smeg. You've got Lunacy, Tuka, Viper, MJ right behind, all wanting to make up positions on him. Checking in with something there as we wait for the safety car to come in. It should come in at the end of this lap. I think the whole train is now on the back of the safety car. Jupe, yep, he's on the train now, so we should see the safety car come in. Yes, it does. I think I'm going to ride on board with Lunacy for this one because Smeg probably won't be able to stay with Gold Glove and Lunacy with those fresh mediums. He should be on the move now. So yeah, we could see a few fireworks into turn 1 again, as these guys are going to make up a fair few, well, they're going to try and at least to make up a fair few positions. MJ and Viper have already switched positions. What's happening here? Viper has lost out for some reason, and he's now going to let Kinkiski go. So Viper's lost track position here, which is really important on the restart. Have the top guys gone already? No, they haven't. Gold Gloves hasn't gone. Smeg's almost alongside already. But Gold Gloves is going to go. Lunacy Patuka right behind as well. There's a big gap now to Kinkiski, so they've had a bit of a kerfuffle there for some reason. Viper may have made a mistake and been told to let him go. Actually, no, Kinkiski's got 5 seconds, so they've had some kind of weirdness happen there. Smeg and Gold Gloves are going to start by side to turn 1. I was going to say Smeg probably couldn't hang on, but he has, and he's going to not quite make the move done, but now he's going to struggle with traction. You see the soft, medium tyres are just that much better. Fresh tyres from Lucy gets past Smeg, and Patuka's going to want to have to get past as quickly as he possibly can. Smeg's going to fight back on Lunacy. He's going to send it down the inside. Smeg is not giving this up. Lunacy goes deep to give him the space, as Lunacy's going to lose out again. Smeg gets on the gravel. That might let Lunacy back through in the Lesmos. They're going to give each other some space. This is great quality racing here from the pair of them. Smeggy doing incredibly well on those hard tyres. But Lunacy's going to win that little battle. Patuka's probably going to sneak through as well now. So Smeg with a fantastic showing there on old, harder tyres. Incredibly difficult to do. Defend from fresh, softer tyres. But now MJ is going to send it on there. That is questionable from MJ. He's managed to back out of it and avoid an incident, which is good. But that was interesting there. Sorry, I've missed the comments a little bit. Jacinto Greco, Viper for the win. Well, he shows some plenty of pace. Though he's down in P7, so he's going to have to make a few moves. Speaking of moves, lots of guys trying to make moves. Ned and Viper are actually going side by side now. Can Ned hold it down the inside? Viper's going to have a good run around the outside and get the toe. And Viper's actually going to use a lot of battery and get MJ through there as well, as Smeg's lost out to Kinkiski ahead. So Viper's got a lot of pace. These guys are weaving absolutely everywhere, trying to get the best run, trying to get the toe off each other. Ned's going to go try and go around the outside of MJ. And Smeggy's gone deep. He's going to lose a couple of positions now. He's going to lose out to Ned, and he's probably going to lose out to MJ as well. And Curvy may try and sneak through as well. So Smeggy now losing a lot of positions there, getting a poor run through there. He's actually just going to let a couple of guys go. Banana gets through. Tri-Kid probably won't quite get through. Christopher in the chat also having a poor race there. We saw him get caught up in a few things. As Kevin Texas is dropping a couple of positions. Oh, MJ has gone deep there, as Ned has gone straight on at the chicane as well. He's cost himself 5 seconds in terms of penalties as well. Kurt Boy is around at the back. He's made a mistake somewhere or had some contact, which is far from ideal. As we see MJ's off in the grass now. He's going to come back on track and kill Smeg, and he's going to cause a massive pile up. We've got a massive incident here. Tri-Kid's around, and he's going to run into a lot of people here. Oh, and there's a massive crash. Oh, you hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. We've got lots and lots of cars caught up in that, and we have another virtual safety car. So that was a really sort of a poor redress for MJ that caused all of that. So he may be in a bit of trouble. But now you've got the Smeg's probably going to have some damage on that. Shimatara's got around. Tri-Kid also may be caught up in that. Jupe, Will, or Holtman Dan all probably may have just dodged it. But that was a massive accident there. Gold Glove will take the opportunity to pit. He'll be able to put the softs on till the end, but that was another major crash there. A couple of guys going to have to pit for new front wings. Hold It Man, Dan and Will, they've probably got some damage there. Gold Gloves will pit for soft tyres, but that's, yeah, you absolutely hate to see that. MJ looks like he may have gotten away with it. He's actually got no damage, so that's that's not fun there. MJ causing that massive crash, has actually managed to escape damage free, but far from ideal there. Kurt Boy's going to retire in the pits. We saw him go around at the restart there. His virtual safety car is still out. Got a bit of racing here actually. Ned and Curving Texas having a bit of a scuffle for some reason. Curving Texas trying to just show Ned the nose. We didn't really catch up the front, but Tuka and Lunacy still holding P1 and 2. Kinkiski's got a big gap behind. He's got Viper on his tail as well. So Curving, he's got the sound glitch, which is an ideal. Patuka on the back of Lunacy now. Patuka's probably got slightly better pace. So if Lunacy lets him go, then he can kind of let Patuka pull him away from the top two. The next two. So let's see how Lunacy plays this. Well, I'm sure he'd love to win this race anyway. But yeah, things kicking off at Monza. Lots of things happening here. Lunacy's going to hang on this lap. The gap behind is 2.5 seconds to Kinkiski, so that's a big gap there. That's going to be quite important. It's going to be really hard for those guys to catch up. As it looks like Patuka's going to make a move here. Lunacy's probably not going to fight it too hard. He knows Patuka's got slightly better pace. He's going to let him go on the outside, go for a bit of a switchback. Patuka's slightly deep, but parks it on the apex, and he's going to hang on to that position behind them. Looks like Viper, has Viper gone round? Viper's, there's a bit of a kerfuffle here as well. Viper and Kinkiski have frozen in the middle of the track. That's going to let both Renaults plus NJ plus Holtman down through. So Viper now down to P9 and Kinkiski up to, down to P8. So something's happened there as well. And now Ned has got a 3.5 second deficit to Lunacy. And the two Renaults now in P4 and 5. So fantastic positions there for the Renault boys if they can hold on to him. But something happened there. I didn't quite catch what it was. MJ and Holtman down also gaining from that. But MJ got a bit of a gap to Benarcake Pie. So they are going to be out of DRS. But now Ned leads the next train. And we saw Ned had plenty of pace at the first stint. So I wonder if he can track down Lunacy. He's actually already lost a second. So this is pretty important here for Lunacy. You can see him pushing with that ERS, trying to get back to the second, but Tuka obviously putting in a really good second sector there to break that DRS. So Lunacy, that could be quite important. They're not managing to hang on to DRS when it gets enabled, which should be this lap. Tuka gets the quickest lap of the race, so he's got plenty of pace. Ned's already closed the gap a tiny bit, although he's got Curving Texas right on his tail. Curving Texas, the quickest lap of the race, is going to go down the inside there. Benarcake Pie not close enough to make a move, but Curving Texas will make a move into P3. Ned not being able to defend that too much. Curving Texas with the overspeed, the toe, gets that job done. But I know Ned is not going to stand down. So now these three are going to chase after Lunacy again, who's already lost another half second to Patuka in P1. So this could be now Patuka's race to lose. That gap is big to Curving and Ned. We haven't seen him pick up a penalty either. So Kinkiski and Holtman down having to go side to side. Kinkiski trying to squeeze Holtman down under brakes. That was a bit cheeky there. MJ ahead getting a bit squirrely on the power. Jamo picks up 3 seconds down the field. He's just behind these guys. The Viper now in P9. What can he do in terms of gaining more positions? He's going to get a nice run through there. So he may be able to get Holtman down on this lap. Judging by the pace through there. But Kinkiski right at the back of MJ as well, as Ned is going to get a 3-second penalty. MJ, Kinkiski's running to the back of him multiple times, and I'm not sure what's happening here. Kinkiski's just running into him about 4 times. I'm not sure if MJ was driving excessively slow, but Kinkiski's now got damage. So that's not ideal there for him. I wonder what's going to happen here. He's going to send it around the outside. He's not going to quite have the grip to do that. So MJ looks like he may be struggling a bit here. As the back two, they've hit each other. Viper and Holtman down have hit each other, and they've spun. Or they've half spun, and that's going to lose them a lot of time. Kinkiski's going to pit for that damage. Now Jamo and Smeg may be able to come back at them. Kinkiski's going to drop way down the order. So Viper and Holtman down just saw the corner of that. Maybe Viper tried to throw it down the inside, but maybe it wasn't quite on there. But Jamo is now, apologies about that. Trikid has retired from the session. That is at Ascari, and that's going to bring out another virtual safety car. So Kinkiski's not going to lose as much time as he potentially could have. But what that's going to do is give these guys another bit of a reset. So Curving Texas, Ned and Benarcake Pile all nice and close together still. They've got a 4.5 second gap to Lunacy ahead, although that is coming back down again due to the delta. But Patuka, sorry, my mistake, it's a 2.5 second, 3 second gap from Patuka to Lunacy, and Curving Texas has actually managed to close Lunacy a fair bit. But another virtual safety car, another breather after what's been an absolutely chaotic race so far. A couple of big incidents a couple of mistakes from drivers, a couple of really nice overtakes. He's had all that you can expect so far, but still got a lot of laps to go. We've still got 8 laps to go, so lots still can happen. It's going to be an interesting restart, as it looks like we are underway again. No one gets the speeding for stuff. Looks like Jammer and Holderman Dan must have had a really bad delta. He had to brake there. Jammer's sailed right past him there. So now Jammer's going to get through into P8 on the hard tyres, and if you can hang on to that, that would be a great effort, as Viper picks up 3 seconds running wide at Parabolic just ahead. Looks like Holderman Dan might try and come back on Jammer here on the softer tyres, so Holderman Dan should have better pace at this stage of the race. He's going to go down the inside of turn 1 on the brakes. He's going to get that move done, so well done there for Holderman Dan. Wonder if Jammer's got anything to fight back with. Doesn't look like it at this stage. Looks like Gold Gloves on fresh softs. He's going to be all over the back of Smeggy as well. What can Gold Gloves do? He's going to be quite quick towards the end of this race, as the skies have gone a little bit darker, so I wonder if the cooler conditions could help those soft tyres last a bit longer. It's not going to help the hard runners of Smeg and Jammer having those cool tyres there, but we'll have to see what Gold Gloves can do in terms of progress through the field. He's going to take a bit of inside curve there, which is risky. You can see Smeg struggling a little bit for grip at this phase of the race. Gold Gloves, he runs into the back of him on the brakes, that's how much grip he's got there. But Gold Gloves has to be careful to not do anything silly here, because he has got the grip. He just needs to make sure he does the moves at the right time so he doesn't lose overall time. He's going to cut that corner. That will be a warning for Gold Gloves. But Smeggy getting a bit squirrely, as does Holderman down ahead. But Gold Gloves may be almost close enough to make a move here. As Trike has now left the session, so both Red Bulls out of the race now, which is not good for their constructors fight. Gold Gloves taking a lot of curve there. Jammer running really wide, and Gold Gloves, oh, he's run right again. You have to save that, and Smeggy's not going to get through, as is Gold Gloves. So Jammer losing out there, making a mistake through Parabolica we saw through there. Now what can Gold Gloves do on Smeg? He's right next to him now on the soft tyres. He should be able to brake a lot later than the Mercedes of Smeg. He's going to get that move done. Smeg tries to hold around the outside, and Gold Gloves gives him the space, which is very good sportsmanship, but Gold Gloves should have the traction. Yeah, he does. So Gold Gloves gets through on the Smeg. Smeg now has to defend a bit from Jammer, but he should be able to do it. If he puts the car in the right spot, there is no way past up here. Speaking of past, Curving Texas is right in the back of Lunacy, so Lunacy's dropped a lot of pace to Patuca. Now Curving Texas will be right on the tail of Lunacy. As you've got some yellows, that looks like, I think Smeg might have gone around. Curving Texas gets Lunacy, but I'm going to flick down here. Yeah, Smeg has gone around. He's lost a few positions. Has he got damage? Not visually, but it may be a little bit. It doesn't always show up. So that is far from ideal for the Smeg there, getting caught up in a lot of incidents, a lot of other people's trouble. As Jamo has... What happened to Jamo? Jamo... I'm not too sure what happened to Jamo. He might have also gone around. But yeah, Lunacy now getting overtaken by Curving Texas. He needs to stay from DRS, I reckon, does Lunacy. As we've got a bit of a weird thing happening with the camera here. Ned behind 1.2 seconds, so if Lunacy can stay with DRS with Curving Texas, then he may not come under threat from Ned behind. But we know Ned's got some good pace here, so Lunacy needs to put in some good laps. He's got 6 more laps left of the race. Gold Gloves on the back of Holderman Dan as well, should be able to get the move done. Down the main straight, goes around the outside this time and gets the move done before the braking zone. Holderman Dan has to slot in behind there. Smeg comes into the pit, so he may have had a little bit of damage there, may just put on some softs for a fastest lap. Jamo also coming to the pit, so both those hard guys making a mistake / getting caught up in incidents again. So they put on some softs. So we may see a couple of quick laps from the pair of them now. Holderman Dan not being able to fight back on Gold Gloves either, so Gold Gloves is a good move up in the P8 now. He's got a 3 and a bit second gap to Viper ahead. Viper's got good pace, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to close that, but it will be close. Lunacy's still got DRS and Curving Texas for P2 as well, which is important. Lunacy cutting that corner. That's going to be another warning at least. We did see Lunacy pick up 3 seconds as well, which could be important for the race result. But we'll have to see what happens there. We haven't seen many penalties at all, so you wouldn't want to be picking them up at regular intervals, because it could cost you a lot of positions at the end of the race. Speaking of, Gold Gloves gets one, so don't want to see any more of those, I'm sure. Lunacy is still going to have DRS here, but he's right in the bubble. You can see him right on that 1 second, so Lunacy needs to put in some good laps here. Ned, I think Ned's made a mistake a bit here, because he's dropped the 2.5 seconds back. He's actually got no ERS, so he's losing out a little bit of straight line speed there, so that could be the reason. Obviously trying to push a fair bit, but IK Pi 1.3 seconds, as the track has gotten really, really dark actually, so I wonder if we're going to see a bit of weather in the last couple laps. We've got 4.5 laps left to go on the race. Patuka still leads it comfortably ahead of Curving Texas, ahead of Lunacy, who's done quite well to hang on to this P3, although he looks like he's going to lose DRS now, so he may come under pressure from Ned in a couple of laps' time. Ned 2.2 seconds back, but Lunacy now more than a second back. Actually, every single gap on the track is now above a second, so no one's going to have DRS for now. Looks like Viper is closing in on MJ though, so that battle may evolve in the next couple of laps. Viper setting some quick lap times, is now under the second, so Viper may be the next one to make a move. Ned looks like he's struggling a bit though, as the Benarcate pass. Lucy's pace is actually quite decent at this phase of the race, but he's not got the speed overall to catch Curving Texas and Patuka. I don't think Curving Texas has the speed to catch Patuka either, so I think this is now the Racing Points race to lose. Let's not jinx anything too early though. Viper's now got DRS and MJ, so we may see a move. He may be a tiny bit too far back here into turn 1, but I'm sure he'll be lining it up for the next, or in the next couple of braking zones. Nice and deep on the brakes. Takes it really nicely. MJ slightly deep. Oh, a bit of mid-corner snap for Viper, but manages to catch it again. Rest of the car back in a straight line. Get the traction. He's going to use his overtake, so he may even throw a nose in here. MJ's going to park it in the middle of the track. Viper goes to the inside. Can he get the move done? He's going to go late at the brakes, as is MJ though. MJ's going to try and hold around the outside, and that's actually decent defence there for MJ. Done well there. Viper can't quite squeeze through, so well done to MJ there. But Viper's got a lot of pace here. We should see him probably make another move next couple of corners, possibly into Ascari, but I reckon he'll save the Parabolika or turn 1. There's no point doing anything silly with Viper. He knows he's got the pace on MJ at the moment. Gold Gloves hasn't been able to catch him either, so Gold Gloves and those fresh softs, they're not going to be so fresh anymore, actually 7 laps old, so Viper can just worry about MJ in front. As Shumitapi's at 3 seconds, Viper taking a lot of that inside curve and getting the car slightly unsettled, which is the last thing you want to be doing when you're battling for position in the last couple of laps. As you can see, the weather has really turned now. I don't think it's going to rain enough for wet tyres. There won't be enough time left in the race, but dry tyres on a greasy track could make things quite eventful, as Viper's now going to get the move done fairly easily. MJ doesn't have any ERS to fight back with, and Viper's barely got any as well, but gets the move done. So Viper now up in the P6. He's got an 8.5 second gap to Benarcate Pie, so that is probably going to be pretty insurmountable for this time of the race, with only 2 and a bit laps left. That could be it in terms of the top 6, barring any major mistakes. We might actually put that to, well, even the whole field. Everyone has now spread out a fair bit, so barring penalties, we may not see too much more on track stuff. We might just quickly check them though. We'll check the top few guys. Patuka has just the 1 warning. Curving Texas has just the 2 warnings, so he has to be a bit careful. Lunacy has 3 seconds, we know that. Yep. Ned has a couple of penalties. Banana is pretty clean, picked up some recent warnings, so you won't want any more of that. Viper's got a warning. Actually, he's got a penalty, my mistake. MJ is clean, so a couple of guys have 1 or 2 penalties. As we've now got the sound glitch. There we go, that's better. So we're right on board with Patuka maybe for the last couple of laps, as looks like no one else is really going to make a move on track. Lucy's managed to hold that gap to Ned. Curving Texas is gapped in by a lot, but looks like those front 2 are similar pace and pulling away from the rest of the field, so those guys, barring any mistakes, should be able to hang on to their positions. So we may as well ride on board with Patuka, as he's been in control of this race. Yeah, ever since that kind of chaotic start there. We saw him and Viper have a bit of a good battle at the start, as with Christoph Reck trying to get around the outside, but Patuka since then has held his nerve and has managed to pull a good gap. Getting a decent safety car restart, getting past Lunacy there, and then just managing to stretch that gap out. So Patuka's put in a really solid race here. So he's definitely earned this win. Although he's still got another lap of Monza to conquer. You can see him not taking any chances on the curbs through Ascari. The last thing you'd want to do is bin it when you're 3 seconds in the lead and you know you don't have penalties. So Patuka will come around Parabolica for the second last time. He will have 1 more lap to do before he can celebrate too much. but it has been a genuinely really good performance from Patuka, showing good pace. Speaking of a good performance, Curving Texas has had a fantastic recovery up to P2. We saw him caught up in a lap 1 incident with Christopher. Not too sure what happened there. I'm not sure if the stewards get involved or not. Can't comment on that. But Curving Texas, regardless, has put on a good comeback here. Yes, helped by a couple of safety cars and VSCs, but still put in the laps times when it mattered. And Lunacy's done really well to hang on to P3 as well, managing to keep the gap to Ned and Bernard Keep behind. He's got the oldest tyres still, so they're not going to be the best, but you don't really see him losing much time. He will drop behind Ned in penalties, so he will probably drop to P4 off the podium, but regardless, it will be a good result for Lunacy. Then you got Benarke Pai sitting in comfortable P5, hasn't really been able to threaten the top 4, but he's put in good consistent times and he's got a big gap behind, so Benarke Pai should be happy with the top 5. In terms of constructors as well, Renault having 2 guys in the top 5, P2 and P5, so good points there for the pair of them. Viper's had an up and down race. MJ, we saw cause that massive pile up. He'll probably be in a bit of trouble for that. Gold Gloves on the softs hasn't quite managed to make the progress we would have expected. Hold Up Mandana Will are currently in the points, but it is the man of the hour. Patuka will come around the final corner and win the Italian Grand Prix. Wee's in celebration. Good result there, and he's going to actually spin the car a little bit there. Curving Texas will take P2. Good drive there. Lunacy will take P3 on track, but will probably drop to Ned. No, Ned had a 5-second penalty, so Lunacy hangs on for a podium. Banana jumps Ned as well, so Banana will take P4, so it's a 2-4 for Renault, which is fantastic. MJ takes P7 behind Viper in P6, possibly could have had a bit more had it not been for a couple of mistakes there. Gold Gloves with good points. Holtman Dam will take P9. Actually, he'll jump Gold Gloves on penalties, and Will jump the pair of them into P8. So Gold Gloves hangs on to P10. We saw King Kiski getting involved in an incident that put him down the field. He's going to come across the line in P11. Unfortunately, no points after what looked like potentially a really good result there. Jope Matata will come home P12 and 13. And Smeg, he's had a bit of a shocker, getting caught up in a lot of stuff that wasn't really his to worry about. He's going to come across the line in P12, actually jumping a couple of guys, and Jamo will be the final points finisher. Final race finisher, not in the points, my mistake there. But that was a really eventful Italian Grand Prix. We saw a couple of big pile-ups, a couple of interesting things there, but the guys at top definitely deserve to be up there. Patuka taking another victory. He's standing out as a championship challenger. So Patuka with another race victory to his name, which is fantastic to see for him. That might put him in the championship lead ahead of Curving Texas. They're both going to jump Stingray in the standings, so those two will be P1 and P2 in the Drivers' Championship. And then the Haas getting on the podium as well. Lunacy, congratulations to him for getting up there. So you can see Ned with 8 seconds of penalties, unfortunately lost out to Banana Cake Pie as well. Starting from P12, mind you, so Banana with a great result there. Viper in P6, MJ Will with the fastest lap as well, Holt Mandan and Gold Gloves with 12 seconds of penalties, which cost him at the end. Kinkiski, the Smeg, Tube, Shumatada, Jamo, and then we had 5 DNFs, a couple of guys fairly early on and a few during the race as well. So not ideal for those guys there, but I'm sure they'll want to bounce back next week for Singapore. But the top 5, they put in a good race. They definitely earned those top 5 positions, so well done to the lot of them. Yes, it's very enjoyable watching this tier go at it. They never fail to disappoint in terms of action, and there's always something interesting happening in the race. So that will do us for tonight. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. It was an interesting race, lots of things happened, so it's definitely a good one to watch. If you want to see these guys' previous races, I believe the global tier 1 and tier 2, the old ones, are all on the Race Spec YouTube channel, or most of them are. For the new global series tier 1, the first 2 rounds are both on the YouTube channel as well. If you want to see more action from these guys, make sure to check out this space. Same time next week, we'll be here for Singapore. I'll go through that race with a lot of you as well. So yeah, make sure you check out that next week and tune in for any other Race Spec streams that are on. We've got the regionals during the week, as well as more global and elite tier stuff as well. Lots and lots of good things, which is awesome to see. But we'll wind it up there. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and have a great week, and we'll catch you next week. Cheers.